Welcome back on this Monday afternoon. Milton, definitely the story in the weather world at the moment. A Category 5 storm in the southern Gulf of Mexico, rapidly intensifying in the last 24 hours. In fact, only one storm on record has intensified quicker from a Category 1 to Category 5 than Milton did. So very strong in the southern Gulf of Mexico. I mean, a very photogenic hurricane. Unfortunately, I mean, from a meteorological perspective, this is about as textbook as it gets. But when you talk about a human perspective, and you know that this storm's going to be trekking toward Florida and make landfall in Florida here in the next couple of days, definitely kind of puts a pit in your stomach for sure when you look at a storm like this. I mean, look at the eye. It doesn't get more just absolutely perfect than that. That continues to show a storm that is not weakening at the moment at all. When you get an eye like that, I mean, just look at the intensity as that storm moving off to the east there. Category 5 storm, wind speeds of 180 miles an hour, gusts in the core of that storm 220 miles an hour. Now, the storm itself may lose at least a little bit in the wind speed department as it moves toward Florida. That really does not mean a ton for the way of Florida in terms of the storm surge, and obviously winds are still going to be strong enough at landfall to do lots of damage as well. And in fact, wind storms like this one, when they're this intense, when they start to weaken, at least in terms of wind speed, sometimes the storm itself can expand, and not only can that wind field expand as well, but the storm surge can also be more intense, higher and more intense farther away from the center as well. So even though there will be a weakening trend at least a little bit as it heads towards western Florida, to be honest with you, really does not change what western Florida is going to see with this storm, and that is a tremendous amount of storm surge. I mean, the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area, 10 to 15 feet, 6 to 10 feet kind of outside of that, stretching down to Fort Myers, and then lesser amounts farther up to the north and south there as you get into South Florida and also into the Big Bend of Florida. Popular locations, Panama City, Gulf Shores, that whole part of the Gulf Coast, not affected by this storm. But the western coast of Florida certainly will see some significant impacts from this storm as well in terms of storm surge. Here's kind of a higher resolution view of the storm surge in and around Tampa Bay. Anything in red, that's 9 feet of water at least. And so anything in red that you see here is normally dry ground, and it will be inundated by at least 9 feet of storm surge, and it's basically the same deal as you head down toward Port Charlotte and toward Fort Myers as well. Here in North Texas, I mean, this storm's not going to affect us at all. In fact, we continue to just basically have a copy and paste forecast for you. It's 90 outside over Fair Park. Tonight will be a little bit more on the comfy side than the last couple of mornings. Low 60s, maybe even some upper 50s across northeastern areas. And tomorrow afternoon, a few degrees cooler than today. A little closer to normal, but still above normal. Normal high is 82, and we'll be about 86, 87 for the DFW area, low to mid to upper 80s, kind of depending on where you are. Most of you in the mid to upper 80s tomorrow afternoon. And we'll just kind of warm up by a degree or so each and every day as high pressure stays close enough to us, and low pressure and storm systems and major cool downs just continue to stay away for the time being. So it's light winds and cooler tonight, 63 for the low. Tomorrow will be warm and dry, but it really won't be humid at all. 86 will be your high tomorrow afternoon. First 7 of the 14-day. We do warm up as we head into the weekend, but your mornings continue to stay comfortable, and the humidity continues to stay low through this upcoming weekend. So Texas OU will be a sweater, at least in terms of the weather. 91 for a high Saturday afternoon. Then you see a little cooler as we head into that following week. 87 Monday, 83 Tuesday, 85 Wednesday. But I still just can't put any rain chances in that extended forecast. And I also continue to just not have any major cool downs anytime soon. That's been your 14-day forecast. Let's go to break, and we'll be back with more after this.